travel along, singing a song, side by side. Don't know what's coming tomorrow, maybe it's trouble and sorrow, but we'll travel the road, sharing our load, side by side. Through all kinds of weather, what if the sky should fall? As long as we're together, it just doesn't matter at all. When we've all had our troubles and heartache, it'll be the same as we started, just traveling along, singing our song, side by side.
When the late 60s, 70s permissive society came along and the free love and the flower power, I was a Jackson's too, man. I never got into the flower power thing. Whenever I went out in the street, even just to go up the street, my dad would never allow us to mess about and get into any kind of mischief at all. He always preached to us that we was different to other kids. We'd come off the fairground, we had to be respected.
Most people prefer a well-cut, well-fitting suit to give poise and confidence. Once, having a suit made to one's own measurements was something rare. Then it was hand-cut, hand-stitched and hand-pressed by master craftsmen. Today, traditional bespoke tailoring is a luxury craft beyond the means of ordinary people. In any case,
We used to go to Jackson's, get our suits made, all of us together, and then we'd get the train to Whitley Bay and we'd go to the Spanish City and spend the day in Whitley Bay, all dressed up like little men, I suppose. Of course, as we got older, then the fashions changed, but we always kept up with fashion.
Newcastle Race Week in the early 30s, put on to coincide with factory holidays. Its origins go back nearly 300 years, when it moved to the town moor. In 1882, it relocated to Gosforth Park. The same year, Temperance Festival was held at its old site. In time, that became the famous Hoppings. John Culine had been born into a long line of showmen. Not only were the Hoppings a chance to catch up with old friends and relations, they were also an opportunity to replenish the coffers. The Hoppings was a must every year.
Hoppings is the northeast. Fairgrounds, if you mention fairground in the northeast, it's the Hoppings. It's the biggest travelling fair in the world. When I was a boy at the Hoppings, it was when the air was different. You could feel that summer was coming and you was going to go to Newcastle. The Hoppings started as a temperance festival. The idea was we're going to have a fairground and a festival where people can come with their families and there'll be no alcohol, no drink, no gambling, and do this one-off thing. And here we are 123 years after or somewhere abouts, and it's as popular now as what it was then.
Roll out the barrel, we'll have a barrel of fun. Roll out the barrel, we've got the blues on the run. Sing moons around, ring out a song of good cheer. Now's the time to roll the barrel, for the gang's all here.
Used to have dancing girls, used to sound a big gong and all the girls used to come out and stand, and then crowds of men around, and always that promise of what's going to go on inside, something beautiful is going to happen.
Peep shows, you know, so tame, You know, and I used to, the girl dancers, I'd love to get into the girl dancers, but get back, your father will go mad. You know? Yeah.
I can still remember Gypsy Rosalie as he walking in the front, in the main part, in the mud, the smell of chips, and the boxing booth was quite interesting, where drunks used to get up and try and fight their way with a favour pack, get knocked out.
Freak shows promising much, the ugliest this and bearded that. The reality was often very different.
There was the odd freak shows, but they were a bit of a disappointment when you went in. You saw that some of them were just like photographs on the wall of things that they were saying you were going to see.
I'd seen a show once. It was a freak show, and I could never figure out what a blue cockerel with white feathers was. You know, it was the only one in existence, but it explained itself as being the only blue cockerel with white feathers. To me, it was a chicken, but you know, I suppose somebody went to see it. Nothing can capture the atmosphere of the fairground, and I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's the smell of the diesel, the hot dogs, the candy floss, but it's just something that's so magical about a travelling fairground. I think basically you've got to be a showman. You've got to have what I've got in my blood, generations, to present what you're going to do. And showmen do that. Showmen can do that.
For John Culine and his fairground family, the gala was a must. With so many determined to enjoy themselves, there was much to be done to prepare for the big day. His father was a favourite of the crowds, but the day wasn't without its problems. It all depended where the ride had been pitched.
The fairground used to open approximately 7:30 in the morning and up till midnight, and I hated it. Hated every second of it. It was all right till about 3 o'clock, and after 3 o'clock, when the pubs turned out, the first place they came to was the boxing booth. And if you'd drawn your stall or your ride was near the boxing booth, you knew you was going to have a mischievous afternoon, because the ones that couldn't get in wanted to fight outside, and them that didn't want to fight wanted to get amorous. You know, we used to have to check the generators hot summer days, and we used to check them to see that it wasn't boiling, that it wasn't getting too hot, and many a time we've had to shove people from the front of the radiators, you know, and say, could you move along a bit? But yeah, there was down the riverside, courting couples, but it was hard work. But not a day to beat it in the northeast. Experience.
London may have been the focus of the great ceremony with its colour and pageantry, but most other communities also did their duty and paid their respects. John Culine and his showman's family just happened to be in his hometown on that big day.
It was at Spennymoor birthplace when it happened in the Jubilee Park, and they decided to have a big party for the coronation, all the fairground kids, and shoved the cars to one side, set the tables out, big party type picnic thing for the coronation. And the local urban district council, one of them came down and was asking what it was all about. And seemingly the Urban District Council was giving coronation mugs away. And we all got one, all the kids. Lovely photograph of us holding our mugs, well, 20 children on it.
The coronation was seen as a new beginning, the dawn of a new age, where the new generation would inherit all its benefits.
Just under half an hour, one of the North East's leading showmen will be honoured by his local council in County Durham. You may never have heard of John Culine from Spennymoor, but for the past 500 years his family have dedicated themselves to providing all the fun of the fair.
John is the new head of the North East's 2,000 travelling fairground people still on the road, despite competition from the high-tech world of theme parks and video games. He was born in a caravan in Spennymoor, and his adopted town want to thank him for bringing generations so much joy.
It takes a bit of sweat to bring the taste of the toffee apple and the thrill of the spin, but the travelling folk will make sure the show opens on time in Hartlepool's Mayfield Park on Thursday night. Keeping one eye on them and the other on his new responsibilities is the new chairman of the North East Showmen's Guild, John Culine. At 44, he's only a strip of a lad, but his family of fairground folk stretch back all of 500 years.
My grandfather was a knife and tomahawk thrower in the circus, and my grandmother was a tightrope walker. And they went from circuses into the fairground rides, and that's where we've got the fairground rides now.
As usual, John and the family have been wintering back in their caravan in Spennymoor in County Durham, reminiscing about their distinguished showground pedigree. His wife Davina comes from a Yorkshire fairground family, and both are looking forward to the new challenges he faces, leading his travelling troops against tough competition from the big money, big rides, theme parks and the glossy attractions at seasides and from abroad. But although the showgrounds still have that same look and feel as they did generations ago, that, according to John, is part of the magic, which can never be replaced by the high-tech Euro Disney glitz.
It's the lights, the music, the sound, everything about it. I've seen faces come year after year. They get older and they bring their own children along, and we see their children bring their children along now. And the smile and the excitement of a travelling fairground, it's just magic.
Ironically, the name of Culine, which despite being part of the fairground scene for centuries, will disappear eventually from the showfield rides. That's because he has no sons to take his name into the future. Another touch of irony, he claims never to have ridden any of his fast flyers. He didn't dare shame himself on Northern Life. So white, or was it green? Well, I bet one form of entertainment John Culine has probably never dabbled in is campanology. That's bell ringing to you and me. And there's going to be a lot of it about across the region this July.
When I grow too old to dream, I'll have you to remember. When I grow too old to dream, your love will live in my heart. So kiss me, my sweet, and so let us part. And when I grow too old to dream,
clarify that for general purposes, planning and highways, seconded. All in favour of that? That the chairman and vice chairman of each of the standing committees. Mr. Mayor, as the chairman seconded. All in favour? Seem to confirm the terms of reference of the standing committees. Mr. Mayor, as the chairman seconded. All in favour? To appoint members of the council to serve on the special committee.
Turned out nice again, hasn't it?
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the programme. Here are the headlines in the North East tonight. And swings and roundabouts in the town hall. I'll be meeting the new mayor who's making history because he has taken the public for a ride. Now, if you just become the mayor of your local town, it must help if you're a bit of a showman. But John Culine has the edge over all his predecessors. John from Spennymoor in County Durham comes from a long line of travelling fairground and circus folk. And as Luke Casey reports, he intends to put his skills to good use as the town's latest leading citizen. They arrive in town with the breath of faraway places about them, but they never stay. All the fun of the fair is squeezed into just a few days, and then the showmen and their colourful caravans are off to pastures new. For hundreds of years, this has been the pattern of life for John Culline's family, and one that he too was destined to follow.
Gone into the business like 8 or 9 generations before me, and it was my life. It's what I was brought up to.
The family started out as circus performers and then moved into travelling fairs. It was during one of these, in Spennymoor, that John first saw the light of day.
The proudest thing I've got in my possession is my birth certificate. Born 31st of May 1947 in a caravan, Jubilee Park, Spennymoor. I love Spennymoor. I love the people of Spennymoor, and I'm delighted to serve them.
John travelled round the fairs of northern England with his waltzer and octopus rides. But 15 years ago, he decided to settle in Spennymoor, the place the family used as their winter quarters. Now, after 5 years on the local council, he has become the town's mayor, an honour that makes him intensely proud.
Spennymoor people have been good to my family. They've been well respected over the years, and it's nice if I can do something for Spennymoor.
As well as being the first mayor to be a showman, John's also the first not to live in a house. Home is still a caravan, with rides and roundabouts and other showmen's families as neighbours.
My father was born, my grandfather was born in a caravan, my great-grandfather, it goes back 8 or 9 generations, and it's just what I want to do. It's a free country, and my chosen way of life is to live in a caravan. As showman, I'm proud of it. I'm a travelling showman still.
In fact, as the weather gets warmer, the urge to hit the road gets stronger. But for this showman, a year as mayor should be a roller coaster ride with a difference. Luke Casey, North East Tonight, Spennymoor. John Culine, what a nice man, and what a great childhood.
Spennymoor, eh?
Hey, being brought up in a fair.
Fantastic. You could be a mayor, you know. You could be the mayor of Wickham. Easy for me to say.
No, I don't want to be a mayor. JP I would be. I'd become known as the hanging magistrate.
No, I think it should be a mayor because I've heard folks saying, he that Mike Neville is just a blooming clown. So you could be. Do you get that?
being given the job to kickstart off. Ladies. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Gala Committee, I welcome you to the opening of the 49th Spennymoor Gala and Fair. From white knuckle rides, side shows and stalls, to the parade on Saturday, all contributes to everyone having a fantastic time. From individuals, small and large businesses and organisations who have helped, thanks for making the event a success. I would now like to ask Councillor Marie Predke, Mayor of Sedgemoor Borough Council, to say a few words.
Thank you, Jim. I'd just like to express my very sincere thanks to John, Culine and members of the Gala Committee for kindly inviting myself to come here this evening. It is a pleasure to assist with the opening of the 2004 Spennymoor Gala. I know it is always an extremely popular event for the town, where families and people of all ages can enjoy the lively carnival atmosphere and see the many colourful attractions. There has obviously been a lot of hard work put done by the organisers, and I warmly wish them every possible success with this year's event. Thank you.
Thank you, Marie. Marie lives in Spennymoor with her husband and consort Tom and family. I would now like to ask Ernest Jones to come to say a few words. Sorry, Ernest Johnson, the President of the Showman's Guild. I'd like to say a few words.
Thank you, Jim. I'd like to thank John first and foremost for inviting myself here, President of the Showman's Guild. It's the first time I believe that the President has attended. I was highly delighted when John asked me. John is a fellow showman. He was born in Spennymoor, and quite recently, obviously, he's now the Mayor of Spennymoor. He was actually born in this park, so I don't think there's an older tenant here than John Culine. But I'd like to congratulate him, because not only is he the town mayor, he's also been a member of the Gala Committee for many years, and he's helped to organise the very gala where he is the lessee of the fair. Once again, John, I congratulate you. It must be a first. I'm sure that Albert, I'll have a few words to say in a moment, but I don't want to awkward proceedings, because obviously it has to be new speakers, but I just hope you have the weather, John, and the gala on Saturday matches the equipment you've got here, because it's a first-class turn. Thank you.
Thank you, Ernest. Yes, Albert Noble is the chairman of the Northern Section. Come and say a few words.
Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President, it's an honour to stand here today and thank the Gala Committee for putting on a fair like this. And the council, the town council, the lessee of the fair, who runs the fair, John Culine, is the mayor. And the Showman's Guild are very, very proud of John. Like Ernest said, he was born in this park, in this very park, some 21 years ago, before the Guild started. We're very, very proud of him as a member of the Showman's Guild and a member of the council as well. I hope you all have a great time at the fair. It's a fantastic fair. You've got some fabulous rides here. I think you all have a very good time. I'm going to hand back now, because I think the fair is going to get over.
Thanks, Albert. It's already been said, he was born in Jubilee Park to parents who were show folk. Member of the Gala Committee, Secretary of the Showman's Guild. His inauguration as Mayor gave widespread publicity for the town. I asked the Mayor of Spennymoor, Councillor John Culine, with his wife, Ivana, the Mayoress, who officially opened the event.
Thank you very much, Councillor Graham, for that. It's very difficult for me, because for nearly 30 years I've done the introducing and I've known who to thank. And no matter who I thank this time, I'm involved somewhere, so I'm going to leave that. I do congratulate my fellow showman who's presented a fantastic fair. They came in and everything's bright, spick and span.
There's two people I want to thank. The first one is God for the fine weather we've had after the fortnight. I hope that the weather is going to keep fine right through and through the summer for my fellow showmen. The other people I'd like to thank is the people of Spennymoor, because without you this gala wouldn't take part. You are the people that make it. You turn up on the Saturday and we're very, very glad you do that, and we work hard to entertain you. You come and be entertained and you make this gala a success. It's you that make the gala a success. I'm not going to go on because I know all the kids want a free ride. That's what they're waiting for. So it's now my very pleasurable duty to declare this fair, this gala, duly open. Thank you very much. Just make a small presentation to my granddaughter for me, please. My granddaughter Olivia. Presentation of films for the Mayor of the Borough.
Alexander Walker.
As my wife said, it's our granddaughter.
Just give him
Second granddaughter Grace, would Grace come forward, please? Come on, Grace. It's my grandson Ben going to bring one. I don't get you ready to go for the other one. It's too long and we can get on with the other. Let the children have a free ride. The President's wife, Maria Johnson, and Ben's going to present the Chairman of the Northern Midlands Section of Life, Kay Noble. Ben? Yes, you are. Hope you're going to watch the first rides for free. Come on, boys and girls. Come forward. So the back of the room.